Breaking news at 4:15 today, the governor of Missouri, Eric Greitens, announced his resignation.
Yeah, it is the first time a governor of the state has resigned amid a scandal, and Lieutenant Mike Parson is set to take over.
Now, we have team coverage coming to us from the Capitol today. You see our reporters who have been working this story for quite some time. We're going to start with ABC 17's Lucas Geisler. And Lucas, you were there when the announcement was made.
Joey and Alyssa, several members of the governor's staff were in the room whenever their boss took to the podium and said that he would be resigning this Friday at the end of business at 5 p.m. Lieutenant Governor Mike Parson is set to take over, of course, as he steps down, but details on him coming into office are not yet revealed now. The governor cited mounting legal bills, as well as the damage that these two felony cases and the ongoing House Investigative Committee into the things surrounding those felony charges pursued and continued today. Now, on those felony charges, I do have some new information to report there. St. Louis Circuit Attorney Kim Gardner, who filed both of those felony cases, one for invasion of privacy related to his 2015 extramarital affair, the other for computer tampering related to Greitens allegedly directing one of his employees to send his campaign for governor a list of donors. She says that they will be giving an update tomorrow as they have reached a, quote, fair resolution on the pending charges. Quote, I know my decision to charge Mr. Greitens in February and March with 2 felonies was met with both praise and criticism. As a prosecutor, my decisions must be based upon facts and evidence, regardless of the position or power of the accused. While that may have been unpopular at times, that's my job, end quote. Jackson County Prosecutor Gene Peters Baker, who's handling possibly refiling the invasion of privacy charge, a spokesman said in 3 words, our investigation continues. The governor even announcing in his resignation, still maintaining that he is innocent of those crimes, but we'll see tomorrow what the St. Louis Circuit Attorney has to say about that resolution. Reporting live here at the state capitol, Lucas Geisler, ABC 17 News.
All right, Lucas, thank you. We know you have spent many days in St. Louis there at the courthouse covering these legal issues.
Yeah, and we're going to go now to ABC 17, Zara McDowell. Zara has been outside of Mike Parson's office, and as we just mentioned, it's a little bit unclear how this transition is going to happen. Zara, we had heard that Lieutenant Governor Mike Parson was going to be at his office at 6. It's now 6:01. What are you hearing?
Alyssa, I have not seen Lieutenant Governor Mike Parson show up yet. He was expected here at 6 o'clock. He was not in the Capitol when Governor Eric Greitens has announced his resignation, but I talked to his representatives shortly after, and they said as soon as he heard the news, he made his way to the Capitol. He does live in Bolivar, Missouri, with his family, and his representatives say he's just a 63-year-old good old farm boy. I will be outside of his office until he shows up tonight. There's no word on if he will just release a statement or if he will do a press conference tonight. But I will be out here for the remainder, waiting for his appearance. For now, reporting live at the Capitol, Zara McDowell, ABC 17 News.
Zara, thank you. Well, that good old farm boy is about to be the next governor, the 57th governor of the state of Missouri. He was a sheriff in Polk County. Then he was a representative. Then he became a senator. And, of course, in 2016, he ran for lieutenant governor. And we're hearing a lot from lawmakers, and right now ABC 17's Kelsey Kernstein joins us live from the Rotunda. Kelsey.
Joey, it's super slow at the Capitol with everything that has been going on right now. We did cover the entire Capitol to find out what lawmakers are saying. We ran into Representative Mike Kelly, who tells us that he asked people to pray for the governor and his family.
The resignation of Governor Eric Greitens came as a shock. I know it came to a shock to many in my district. I think at this point I just ask that you pray for Governor Greitens, his family, for our state, and for Lieutenant Governor Parson as he takes on the great challenges of leading this state.
Kelly kept reiterating that he's in shock, as well as everyone in his district are in shock of the governor's resignation announcement today. Reporting live at the Capitol, Kelsey Kernstein, ABC 17 News.
Kelsey, thank you. And, you know, we, of course, covered wall-to-wall event coverage of the inauguration of Governor Eric Greitens, and that took up the whole lawn and the whole property at the Capitol. We don't know if Lieutenant Governor Mike Parson will be wanting a similar layout, or if he may just take an oath in private and maybe do a small ceremony. We don't know the answer to those questions now. But obviously, if he did want to do something, the Capitol construction underway would make it almost impossible at this point, certainly to do it the way he did, maybe a smaller event. But again, it's very difficult to even find a parking space there, as we know as reporters covering the Capitol.
Yeah, and as Zara pointed out too, while it is unclear whether Mike Parson could make a statement of some sort, we would presume, probably safely assume, that he is likely going to say something, because everything does close down at the Capitol at 5 p.m. So if he is heading back there, and he knows there are camera crews stationed outside of his office right now. Everyone's been contacting his staff as well. So presumably he'll say something about the position that he's now in.
He knows he has a state to answer to now. I mean, it may not be official until Friday afternoon, but it is imminent. And it is something that he has to deal with. And he has told us, ABC 17 News, just last week we were talking to him, and whereas he remained mostly silent this whole time, he did say that he is ready and prepared to do the job that the voters have asked of him. And as Lieutenant Governor, that of course means becoming governor if something were to happen to the governor.
Right, and the one thing that Mike Parson also did was that, like you said, he remained very quiet. He did not share his opinion on the investigation or share any opinion on whether or not he believed that Governor Greitens should resign. That isn't the case with other lawmakers. In fact, local lawmakers did call for his resignation ahead of time.
Many of them.
Many of them, yes, Republicans and Democrats. And now we're hearing from local lawmakers who are reacting to his resignation. So let's take a look here. Attorney General Josh Hawley says, quote, "It is the right move, and he's hoping for the best as Mike Parson takes over as governor." And then Senator Claire McCaskill is also reacting, only commenting on the incoming governor and what she is looking, and that she's looking forward to working with him.
Sticking with the Democrats, Gail McCann Beatty, I believe we have a statement from her, and this one was not as polite. This is the brief and deeply troubled term of Eric Greitens is a case study for why Missouri's highest elected office is no place for beginners. Governor Mike Parson possesses the integrity and his predecessor lacked, and House Democrats will offer him whatever assistance we can as he begins the difficult task of restoring credibility to state government. Harsh words there from Democrat Gail McCann Beatty.
Yeah, and that is similar to what we saw. You had mentioned before that she had tried to remain fairly, bipartisan and not let everything happening with Governor Greitens. We're hearing that we could possibly, let's actually take a look at what Mike Parson is saying.
Speaking.
Friday, but tonight we'll be doing a written statement, basically on talking about what happened today.
How did you find out? How did you find out? What just the nuts and bolts of it?
I just received a phone call earlier this evening, and actually at my home. I was actually out at the farm at the time I received the call.
How surprised were you?
You know what? I don't know that it really, right now, we're still trying to kind of just grasp everything like everybody else is, and we're just kind of have to figure out that right now. Governor Greitens is still the governor of the state of Missouri, and I'm the lieutenant governor, and we're going to function that way until Friday as the time comes.
Have you talked to Governor Greitens? Have you talked to Governor Greitens, sir?
Thank you.
What do you want to tell the people of Missouri?
I feel good right now. I feel good, and we're going to be fine in the future, and we're going to move Missouri forward.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Very good.
He feels fine and going to move Missouri forward.
Yeah, some words of reassurance there.
Right. That's right. And again, we'll be hearing a lot more. We know that they're going to have a written statement, and as soon as that comes out, we will break it to you. If it's not during this newscast, we'll do it at abc17news.com.
Absolutely. All right, and we'll be back in just a minute.
I am thankful to all those who have worked beside me, sweated beside me, those who gave their time, their energy, and their precious resources so that we could pursue our mission of taking Missouri in a new and better direction.
Well, the better rain chances we have over the next several days are Thursday and again Saturday. And Thursday, we're going to have to keep an eye on that because we do have an isolated severe threat in the afternoon Thursday. And then I'm also watching Saturday. Saturday, we could have some strong, possibly severe storms late in the day. June is going to start off on Friday hot and dry. Highs in the low 90s Friday. The heat indices climbing into the upper 90s. But the good news is after we get past a hot, sticky day Saturday, it's not going to be as warm on Sunday. We stay in the low 80s. Hey, if you're out and about tonight, you'll see that full moon. It's going to be a beautiful evening to view that. As the sun is setting at 8:26, look at 8:34 in the east as the moon will be rising. It'll continue to rise, and by 11 o'clock, you'll see it up pretty good distance above the horizon. Look to the lower left of it for a steady glowing light. It's Saturn. That's the planet Saturn. This is the full flower moon, is what we often call the full moon of May. It is dry out there right now. We've got a nice evening ahead, as I mentioned, and it is going to stay warm out there. In fact, right now, temperatures are still in the 80s to near 90 degrees, a little cooler in our eastern counties. And as we head out the door this evening, you can see we've got a mostly clear sky, and temperatures continue to drop only down to 71 by 11. We only drop into the upper 60s tonight. I'm going to be watching late night storms out of Kansas as they track in our direction. There's a chance tomorrow morning a couple showers might hold together to affect part of mid-Missouri in the early morning tomorrow. But it looks like a mainly dry day. We have an isolated storm chance in the afternoon, and your Wednesday is still going to be very warm with highs in the upper 80s to near 90 tomorrow and a southwest breeze. As I mentioned, though, Thursday we'll have a better chance of seeing some rain. In the morning, I'm watching a complex of storms that'll be pulling eastward and dying out. Those could bring some rain, especially to areas south of Interstate 70 in the morning, and then the afternoon, watching for the potential of some strong to severe storms Thursday afternoon. And then as we head into the weekend, Saturday is going to be rather sticky out there. The heat indices in the mid-90s. As we look to the rain chances, it's going to be the better chance late in the day as some strong storms, even into the evening Saturday, will be possible. But look at that. We do cool down a little bit. Sunday is going to be a little nicer out there. And it does look like temperatures next week are going to level off a little bit in the mid-80s as we'll start the week at 84.
This weekend, this past Memorial Day weekend, was a scorcher.
It was.
All right.
Thankfully, pools are opening up soon for everyone else who still needs to cool down.
Yes.
Very
All right.
nice.
Thank you, Sharon.
Well, of course, you know, Governor Greitens made his resignation speech today without taking any questions.
Yes, but of course, that didn't stop reporters from asking. Let's listen in.
We have a good and proud story to tell our children. Let's love them and each other every day. May God continue to bless you and to bless the great state of Missouri. Thank you.
Governor, did you take the photo? Governor, did you take the photo? Are you going to answer questions at any point?
Well, as Eric Greitens prepares to resign on Friday, we are getting ready to welcome in the 57th governor of the state of Missouri, and that will be Mike Parson, our lieutenant governor, who did not call a fancy conference together.
No.
He just talked to reporters there in a gaggle right there in the hall by his office.
Yeah, and it was a very, very brief interaction. He said that they're going to be preparing a statement tonight. Would presume that we will hear more from him tomorrow. And he actually also was pretty optimistic. He said he feels pretty good. ABC 17's Zara McDowell has been stationed outside of his office. Zara, you were one of those reporters who got to speak, that is, with Mike Parson right when he arrived. What is happening there outside of his office now?
Yes, Alyssa, I did just get to speak with him for just a few short moments as he came into the Capitol today right after 6 o'clock. Now, he said he was on his farm farming in Bolivar when he got the news, and we asked him how he got the news that he will be the next governor of the state of Missouri. And he said he actually just got a phone call, stopped what he was doing, and came straight to the Capitol. Now, it did take him a little while to get here since he does live in Bolivar. But one thing he wanted to reiterate while we were talking to him just for those few short moments, he says, I am still the lieutenant governor, and Eric Greitens is still the governor of Missouri. Now, that does only last until Friday at 5 p.m. That is when Mr. Mike Parson will be sworn in as the next governor for the state of Missouri. And right before he went into his office, he did say, now we will just want to move Missouri forward. For now, reporting live at the Capitol, Zara McDowell, ABC 17 News.
All right, Zara, and I heard someone in the media gaggle call him governor. It is typical. I've covered many administrations where when you refer to the lieutenant governor in person, to call them governor just as a courtesy and to lessen the length of the title. So he has had that title, governor, but now it will be formal on Friday. Now, ABC 17's Lucas Geiser was in the room in the governor's office when he made his announcement that he was resigning on Friday.
Yeah, we want to go ahead and check back in with him, and Lucas has also been speaking with the St. Louis Circuit Attorney's Office as well as with regards to their criminal investigation. What new information do you have for us, Lucas?
Well, listen, Joey, there are still members of his staff that are walking on around the second floor hallways here where the executive branch offices are nestled in the Missouri State Capitol. I did ask one of them if they wanted to say anything about their boss announcing that he'd resign later this week. That person said that they'd hold their tongue for now. The governor cited these mounting legal bills that he is facing on, again, several different fronts in his personal and official capacity. Those 2 felony cases facing outside in the city of St. Louis, as well as what was the ongoing House investigative committee looking into the things said in those 2 cases. Now, with all of those going, he said that it was time to go tend to the people wounded in these situations, in that moment becoming choked up as well. Now, just what's going to happen with those felony cases, we will find out in the days ahead, particularly tomorrow. The St. Louis Circuit Attorney's Office tells me that they will make an announcement. They will make an announcement tomorrow about what they call a fair resolution to the pending charges against Governor Greitens. Now, just what that resolution is, there is no clarification, and we will learn tomorrow what they have in mind. Now, the Jackson County prosecutor, who is handling, if you remember, one of those, the invasion of privacy case, was dropped against the governor. What seemed like a win for the governor's team, and one that he as well called a tremendous victory at the time. The Jackson County prosecutor's office tells me, quote, "Our investigation continues," end quote. So he might not have escaped just those charges yet. We, again, will find out in the days ahead. Reporting live here at the state capitol, Lucas Geisler, ABC 17 News.
Lucas, thank you. And, as we were talking earlier, just because he's quitting his job, that does not make a criminal case disappear. Now, how it will affect the special committee investigating the governor, that's another matter, because how much more money and resources would they spend on a governor who is now an outgoing governor who will only be governor for 4 more days? But do you take an investigation that has been this in-depth and just close the books on it and walk away from it?
Seemingly so, based on that House statement. We haven't been able to get any sort of confirmation yet, but in that statement, I mean, Speaker of the House Todd Richardson just thanked everyone who had worked on the investigative committee, and at least I got the impression that they were probably going to just end their committee work. So I thought that was very, very interesting that they would just wrap up their work like that and end. But again, it would cost more money, and what purpose does that investigation serve at this point?
We'll be doing a lot more reporting on that, and we will be back in just a moment. Within the last couple hours, the governor, of course, started his resignation speech with "Today I'm announcing that I will resign as governor of Missouri effective Friday, June 1 at 5 p.m.
Yes, he went on to say how he was very thankful, talked about all the people who have supported him in his campaign, but then he ended being very, very firm in denying any of the allegations that have been brought against him. He said that he has not broken any laws, and he said that we are going to let history decide the fairness of this whole process. So going to be very interesting there. And switching gears really quickly to the weather as well, Sharon, we are dealing with some hot weather here.
Yes, we are. It's going to be quite warm the next few days and a little bit humid too, as we have a spot storm chance tomorrow, but a better chance Thursday, not only in the morning, but also a few are possible in the afternoon. June starts on Friday, hot and humid.
All right. Thanks, Sharon. Stick around for ABC 17 News at 6:30 next.